Hey guys, Casey Judge, Baseball Rebellion. In today's video, we're going to do a revision to an article Chaz wrote in 2014. I believe it was in October. The name of the article was Fix Your Posture, Fix Your Stride, and it was really emphasizing keeping a tall spine angle in your stride. And we're going to go over what we teach now as opposed to keeping that tall spine in the stride. So Chaz, kind of demonstrate what you were doing in that video.
So what I was doing in the video was I had some kids who were really like absurdly hunched over, or they would really crouch down in their like leg kick phase, right? So what they would do is they would go here, their chest would kind of get out, and then their stride direction would be wrong because their chest is kind of pulling over. So I was like, well, maybe they should stand up taller, right? So, and in the article, if you've read it, which you probably have, you're rereading this, I had a kid, I had him stand up taller, and he stood up really tall, and he was kind of a stiffer kid. And then next weekend, he hit 6 home runs. So I was like, wow, this must be right. This must be good. So I tried it with a couple other kids. It helped them. But we've kind of come to some conclusions since then that, you know, a tall posture isn't for everybody, and it might not even be optimal at all.
Yeah, so from a biomechanical standpoint, I completely agree with Chaz that keeping a taller spine is going to make you rotate like this better. And golfers, obviously the shaft is longer on a driver than it is, let's say, a wedge. So they're going to be taller in their setup. But as a hitter, it's actually very apparent in the best hitters I see, Cabrera, McCutchen, Jose Bautista, Tulowitzki, all these guys, that they start out tall, and then as they move into their stride and move into their hip, there's a definitive spine angle change. But it's very important to understand that this change in spine angle comes from a hinging of the hips. So I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with strength conditioning and workouts and exercises. I know that's very popular in the baseball world today, training. A hip hinge is basically anything that pushes your hips back. So it can be an RDL, Romanian deadlift, kettlebell swing, a glute bridge, anything that causes your hips to go back and then go forward. Well, that's a move that's very apparent in the swing, and that's why you see a lot of these baseball training programs. They include a lot of these hip extension exercises because hip extension is very important in the baseball swing, but allowing your hips to get into a position to extend from is very important, and that hip hinge is going to change your spine angle. So just by advocating being very tall, you're kind of taking away your hip's ability to get into a position to extend from. So that's why we're kind of revising this and going a little bit different direction, because we want our hitters to allow their hips to work explosively in the swing, but they can only work explosively in the swing if they get into a really good position to move out of from. So we thought it was very important to go over this. I know in today's hitting world, there's a lot of emphasis on the turn and the unloading of the swing, but if you don't create the tension in the swing, in the load, and hinge your hips back, and you're hyper-focused on the turn, you're not really looking at where the speed is created in the swing or how it even starts.
I think it's important also that, you know, as Casey, who's our director of athletic performance, he does hitting instruction with us as well. When he came to me, he's like, hey, like this article could be written better. You know, at first I was like, well, okay, tell me about it. And, you know, we argued about it for a second. And the bottom line is I think he's right. And one of the things we take a lot of pride on here at Baseball Rebellion is everybody gets a voice. And Casey knows more about the body than I do because he went to college to do that, you know. And what's your major again?
Exercise science and sports medicine.
And I was a sociology major, so I wasn't taking a lot of anatomy classes. So, you know, yes, from a pure turn standpoint, like I can move my shoulders better like that from a tall perspective, but I can't hit better. And so there's value in the second part of that article, which is that drill I just did there, which is the drill I show in the next part of the article. There's value that we do it every day. But there's more value in getting into this position and learning to do it from there and allowing your hips to kind of ride out that way. And if you watch my Edwin Encarnacion breakdown, you know, he did that extremely well. So there's a lot of examples of where we've been right over the years and where we've been wrong over the years, but Baseball Rebellion wants to take ownership of both of those things and correct mistakes that we've had in the past and always bring the best information that we have to you today. I mean, it's funny, I saw a tweet on Twitter today, like, guy was like, would you have trolled yourself 5 years ago about hitting? And the answer is yeah, you know? So we're constantly evolving and changing and growing and learning from our big leaguers and Hall of Famers and some of the best softball players in the world and people that fly in from all over the country. And we want to make sure that we bring the best information on the internet for free to you.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, guys, to close out this video, exactly what Chaz just said, we really want what's best for our readers and the people who come to our website and see our videos and see our demonstrations. We want to give them actual movements that hitters do, and this is something we as instructors have accepted, and we're just making sure that we constantly update our information, because I don't see that a lot from a lot of the free sources of information on the internet. Just because something is free doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
It almost always means it's not good.
Yeah, free doesn't constitute any value. So the information that we put out, I want it to be correct along with being free. So I felt the need, I felt it very necessary to do this revision. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.
Thanks.